Oh, my mic is off. Sorry. What is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a good night tonight. And, well, another stream tonight. Another week goes by, and we're getting closer and closer and closer. We have the combine next week. We have the tampering period in a few weeks. And I'm excited to see like what kind of money the Eagles are going to have, by that time, and a lot going on. So, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But definitely very excited to see what the Eagles do. So the cap space actually went up a little bit. So the league, the cap went up like 255 million for the league. So with the Philadelphia Eagles, they went up about a few million. So they were at 28 plus. Everybody was saying 21 plus. I didn't see that. But they are at $32+ million right now. And that's just the start. That's without Byard's $14 million post-June cut, HaasonReddick's extension for $11 million, or more than that if they get rid of him. Avonte Maddox post-June $7.1 million. Dallas Goedert restructured $2.5 million. Jake Elliott $1.8 million. I mean, the Eagles can free up a lot of space, and they can get close to $60 million. Like, no joke. It's kind of crazy, but I don't know what the Eagles are going to do. I really don't. And that's probably the most exciting part about this offseason, where we know that Nick really doesn't have much control. Didn't have control over hiring these coaches or these coordinators, no doubt. But going into a free agency where it's a question mark, because Vic Fangio is going to want his own guys on defense. It's going to come down to what Kellen Moore wants. So It's going to be sweet. It's going to be sweet. But I appreciate everybody being here. We got Tessie, we got Deep Space, MJ, Primetime, Stephen, Joyce, Robert, Ola, what's going on? Dom, Levine, what's going on? Ethan, Rufus, what's going on, man? Mississippi, huh? That's awesome. We got Punjab Kings fan. What's going on, man? What's going on, Michael Goldberg? What is up? Don Levine Schuler says, Dan started trying to clown him, which is why a lot of fans don't rock with him, implying he was whining about the media and he wasn't to keep him employed. Yeah, a lot of shit was going on today. AJ Brown kind of called in the WIP and kind of fought back a little bit, It's just such a waste of time to talk about, because it's like when we're trying to prepare for other things, like a new season, new off season, and this shit just keeps continuing nonstop, like every single day. It's kind of nuts, What's going on, Jackson McMullen? What's going on, man? Punjab says, Joey, I hope Miami quarterback that got released comes here. No, Xavier Howard. No. You need a younger player there. I don't think Xavier Howard's the last guy. I think that Xavier Howard's he's still one of the top corners, no doubt. I mean, he's still a good corner, but at his age and where the Eagles are right now, we're not trying to get another old corner back to Philadelphia. It's not going to happen. I'm totally against getting Xavier Howard. To be honest with you, I honestly don't think they're going to draft a corner in the first round. I think they're going to go in free agency and get a cornerback. I don't know if it's going to be top tier money, though. You know what I mean? That's really the only thing I can think about is, like, I just don't feel like they are going to hit cornerback in the draft in the first round. I feel like they're going to fill that spot. I feel like they're already going to fill that spot, and I don't know what they're going to do, but I mean, either trade for a mid-tier, younger type corner. I would be shocked if they spent a lot of money at cornerback. I'd be shocked if they go after L'Jarius Sneed, no doubt. I mean, it'd be kind of crazy. Time Fox said, what up, Joey? I was thinking if the Eagles don't get Winfield Jr. or draft a safety, a good other option could be Xavier McKinney, barring he doesn't get tagged. Oh, yeah. I mean, Xavier McKinney, would be a great fit here. I mean, I don't know how much money they want to spend at safety, and Antoine Winfield Jr. looks like he did get tagged. I don't know. Some of these teams want to do a tag and trade. I don't know what they're doing. But we'll see. But the market is out there. There are safeties out there. Eddie Jackson obviously is older. They need three they need three safeties. Even if Reed Blankenship is here. That guy from the Lions, what the hell is his name? That just got released. He's like 29 years old, 28, something like that. Totally forgot his name. So I know it was him. I think there was Antoine Winfield Jr. There was a few. Xavier McKinney. There was a few guys out there. Eddie Jackson, because he's been with Fangio before in Chicago, which was interesting. Robert says, can you see a scenario next year where Eagles go 2-4 or worse and Sirianni gets fired and Kellen Moore is the head coach at the time? Do you think this may be a setup on Nick? To me, I feel like, and I've said this a million times, I feel like Kellen Moore is set up to be the head coach. If the Eagles go 2-4, I think they're going to can him. If the offense looks so bland and so plain and no creativity, 100% that Nick. Let me tell you something. You go through all these changes with this coaching staff, and I'm telling you right now, if I even see one bubble screen, 170-yard pass on second and short, third and short, I'm telling you right now, like, it's going to be a problem. I highly, from all they have done, which they've done a lot more with this coaching staff than I thought they were going to do, I don't even know if I'd be shocked, but I'm telling you right now, like, I think I would be a little surprised with the amount of changes they made that Nick was still going to get his hands was going to still be in charge of game plan. That's where, that really sucks. I hope that's not the case, but yeah, I wouldn't be happy about it. Oh yeah, Tracy Walker from Detroit. It's another good one that's out there. I think they got to sign a veteran on the back end and obviously a mid-tier guy. So you need three guys that could start, obviously. Three good safeties, including Reed Blankenship. We got a super chat from Never Stressing. What's going on, man? Says I would go after Simmons. He could play like three different positions. Oh yeah, he's a hybrid player. I mean, the Giants traded for him for a 6-round pick. I mean, a 6-round pick. That was a steal. Too bad they were horrible. But Isaiah Simmons was a steal. I mean, total steal. And so, I mean, that would be great. And since he's a free agent now, it should be a little bit easier. So, should be a little bit easier. These plays, I think the Eagles signed one big name linebacker to a 3-year deal and a mid-tier linebacker to compete with N'Kobe for 1 year. I feel like they have to do all three in this draft. I feel like they have to sign a linebacker to big money. It might not even be big money, okay? They might have to go after Andrew Van Ginkel. That's been, that played really well under Fangio last year. Fangio is going to get his own guys. I think Van Ginkel is almost at the top of the list for the Eagles. It probably won't be Patrick Queen because there's going to be so much competition between throwing money at him at this point. But I feel like Andrew Van Ginkel might be number one on the list when it comes to linebackers. He is 29 years old, so they might not think he's going to be too expensive. But we'll see. He's going to get paid, no doubt. I think you need to sign a guy like Andrew Van Ginkel. If they can't get a Patrick Queen or can't sign anybody else, if they're going to it just depends how much money they actually want to spend at this point. That's where it's really going to matter. I think you got to sign a prove-it deal type linebacker, which is like a Devin White or somebody younger. We'll see. Go get that guy Shire from Tennessee. Bobby King was the linebacker coach over there. He's with the Philadelphia Eagles right now. It's another guy that had 163 tackles and 2 sacks with Tennessee last year. That might be really productive. So, we'll see what happens with that. But Chris says Simmons has great shot come here. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, man. He says, Joe, do you think Eagles should try and go for Jalen Johnson? Nah. I don't know if they're... That's a guy that's going to get paid a lot of money. A lot of money. Jalen Johnson, I mean, the quote that he said a few weeks ago, he was like, he's like, the money's really important. Like, he wants to get paid. He's looking to get the biggest payday. It's all about how this market is going to start. And then that's why I'm really afraid for HaasonReddick. Brian Burns is asking for $30+ million as of right now. And I think from what the report said that the Panthers offered him $27 million a year and he rejected it. So I don't know what even with HaasonReddick's case and what's going on. So we'll see. But Dan says, the Broncos are going to want so much capital or even consider trading their star defensive player. Patrick Surtain, bro. Look, at the end of the day, like, people don't want to pay cornerbacks, but what do you think's going to happen when you trade for Patrick Surtain? You're gonna pay him, dude. I mean, he's gonna get paid. I don't know. I honestly, I feel like they. I don't know if they're gonna go into the first round and actually get a cornerback. I want to believe they would. I just feel like they want to go trenches. They want to get someone for Vic Fangio. I feel like they want to get somebody for this defense on the trench line. So we'll see. Webb says, just got here, sir. Guy. What's going on, Webb? Antonio Simmons, is he so great? Why he played for 2 teams on his rookie deal? Something is up with him. Oh, I mean, look, like, Isaiah Simmons made some good plays for the Giants when he got over there. Obviously, it's the defense wasn't good enough, but I mean, just because a player moves around too much, it doesn't mean they're bad players. I mean, Yannick Ngakoue moves around to every team every year, and he has 7 to 10 sacks every year. Guys, HaasonReddick did it. HaasonReddick moved to 2 teams, had double-digit sack seasons. I mean, he's done it with 3 teams now. Doesn't mean that he's a bad player, but there are teams that trade for players that these players, they don't know how to use them, they don't fit the scheme, and that's our whole problem right now. We don't have the players for Vic Fangio's scheme, and that's why we're gonna get his guys. Dom Levine says, linebacker, safety, wide receiver 3 in free agency. Resign Swift. My eyes on Van Ginkel. My eyes on Xavier. And if they don't resign Swift, bring back A.J. Dillon or Singletary or take Washington. Running back Gibson. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I feel like 100% they're going to go linebacker. They're going to go wide receiver 3 in free agency, no doubt. I would love to resign Swift. Van Ginkel, I think, is on the top of the list. That's just me because he's played for Fangio and was very successful under him. See if they get Xavier McKinney. I'm interested to see how much money they're willing to spend at safety if that's the case. But AJ Dillon and Swift together would be pretty damn great. Be a nice complimentary. I feel like if you get AJ Dillon, you need to sign a more dual threat back. And I totally agree. Gibson from Washington would be another one I really do like. But why not just bring Swift back? It's crazy. I don't know, man. It's just the philosophy needs to change this year, no doubt. Chris, if there's a cornerback in the draft at 22, like Quentin Mitchell, Kool-Aid McKinstry, or DeJohn, Howie will take one of them. Yeah, we'll see how the board drops, but we need to see what goes on in free agency first. Because if they sign a corner to big money, obviously that's off the board. I know that DeJohn, he's not going to work out at the combine at all. So we're not going to see him at the combine, so far. But interesting enough to see what these corners and how athletic these guys are and kind of showcase themselves a little bit. I honestly don't think they're going to draft a corner first round. I don't. It's hard for me to say because they're going to cut Bradbury at some point. And we know that he doesn't fit Vic Fangio's scheme at all, but I hope they do. I mean, if there's one move I really want to make, it's a corner in the first round. But I feel like they want to fill that spot up with somebody that's already produced. And if the Eagles feel like they're in a Super Bowl window, they'll spend money on a cornerback. I don't know if it's going to be Jalen Johnson or L'Jarius Sneed. You still have Slay here for 2 more years, but that's going to run downhill sooner or later. You know what I mean? Dan Ford says, if we decide to get rid of Bradbury, Howard would be a very good pickup to replace him. Dude, why? How though? But you're just talking about the year. I'm talking about a few years or the future. How old is Xavier Howard right now? If it was 4 years ago, sure, but now. I mean, you're gonna dump Bradbury for an older corner that might play a little bit better, but you know what I mean. I'm just not into it. I respect it, no doubt. Xavier Howard is he's getting up there, man. Like, I'm not saying he's on a decline, but I don't know. I think he's still a good player, but I feel like we need to go a little bit younger. And if they're going to go in free agency, go get a guy that's 26, 27, 25. I don't know. Somebody of that nature going to their prime. Sign somebody going to their prime, not somebody that's way into their prime right now or way into, I don't even know what Xavier Howard's going to want. And anything over, it's probably going to be a lot of money that he's going to want that he's probably not going to get. So we'll see. Antonio Holmes says, damn, how he reject 27 million a year. These dudes are out of control. I know, dude. I mean, you're asking, like, he wants an extra $3 million and he was offered 27. That's how these players are, man. Just greedy motherfuckers. Like, I don't want 27 million. I want 28 million. We're not doing this. We're not doing this deal. That's how guys are, you know. Patrick Queen would be good too, man. I would love Patrick Queen, but I feel like there's gonna be way too much competition for him. I feel like the Eagles are gonna just be out of the bidding on that one. The Mandalorian Dome said it would make sense for the Eagles to sign Snead and draft a cornerback in the first round while trading Slay and Bradbury to another team. So you think they go double on that? Damn, that honestly, dude, to be honest, like, it wouldn't be a horrible idea, but you're gonna have to pay a lot of money. That corner spot's gonna make a lot of money. You pay Snead and you go in the first round. First round picks get paid a lot of money too. So, not as much as they won't get on their second contract, obviously, but that would be interesting. I mean, if they got L'Jarius Snead, I wouldn't be mad. I'd be more shocked than anything, really. He would fit in Philly really well. Queen and Duggar would be good fits. I agree. Mailander Dope. So would you trade for Surtain or signing Snead and draft a cornerback in the first round? I don't know. I don't know if Surtain's going to be cheaper because L'Jarius Snead is coming off of a Super Bowl win. It's coming off of a Super Bowl win. I just feel like Snead's going to be more expensive than Surtain. Doesn't mean that Surtain's going to get paid regardless. But I would probably rather... I would love. And look, I don't know if they're gonna, I don't know if they even sign a cornerback to big money. I don't think they would go into the draft and then get a first rounder at cornerback. And that's only if they trade Slay. So I would love to do it. I would love to get rid of both corners because I don't even want Slay here. So I'd probably go with that, to be honest. Tommy Five says, Joey, as much as I want us to draft cornerback in first round, I can already see how we're drafting. Well, I don't, you know what? I don't think it's going to be offensive line. I think the second round range, I think there's going to be some offensive linemen that are going to drop to the second round. And I feel like he's going to grab somebody there regardless. So we'll see. Within the first three picks, I feel like they're going to draft an offensive lineman of the future. I don't even know what's going on with Jason Kelce right now. I mean, this shit is like, we need a fucking answer like soon. Like, this is getting kind of crazy, and really need some answers. The thing about the corners this free agency is that a lot of them are around 27 to 30 range. So it's going to be hard to find one that's very good and young. Yeah, I get it. That's why going to the draft and drafting a top guy is probably the way you should go. I just don't know if they're going to go through producing a guy. And I understand, like, these, when you draft somebody in the first round, they need to be ready day one. And to pair him up with Slay for the year would probably be good for him as well, to pair him up with a veteran, no doubt, which would be a great thing. Learn from Slay, because you always want them to be around, vets at the same position that are playing at a high level as well. So I think that would be good, but the question is, will they actually would they rather get a proven guy? If they feel like the Super Bowl window is open, do they feel like it's more, can they win a Super Bowl with a top guy in the draft, or can they win a Super Bowl, with a more produced player that's already in the league at 27, 28, 26 to 27 years old? That's going to be, that's going to be kind of nuts. What's going on, Phil? Says, what's worse, OnlyFans girls or NFL stars? Yeah, the Marlon Humphrey trade was interesting too, because it was literally Marlon Humphrey for an Eagles 5th round pick, and that was like the trade. It It's possible. I mean, I don't know. How old is Humphrey anyway? I don't even know how old he's. Marlon Humphrey's got to be in his prime, right? I mean, for a 5th round pick, we'll see. Goes, what up, Joey? Just on XC, Wanderers fans can't stop talking about this. Oh yeah, it's bad, dude. It's bad. No doubt. Enrique Garcia says, Joey, what's the deal with the guys who's coming off suspension if he's a guy who can compete for starter cornerback position? Isaiah Rodgers, yeah, he's going to be one of the most, as much as I'm excited for Eli Ricks to get another offseason, Keely Ringo to really take that next step up, which I thought like the couple weeks when Matt Patricia took over, the first couple weeks, I thought he looked really good. Isaiah Rodgers could play. I think he's the one that's going to take over for Avonte Maddox, because Avonte Maddox, if anyone thinks Avonte Maddox is going to be here, it's not going to happen. Zach McPherson is off an ACL injury. You know what I mean? So for me, I feel like I think Isaiah Rodgers might take over that nickel spot. I really do. He's been working his ass off this offseason. He's been working his ass off for pretty much the year, because when you're on the exempt list from the commissioner, you can't talk to the team, you can't talk to teammates, you can't even show up to games or be around the team, period. So he's probably one of the most exciting players in the secondary. I'm pretty pumped about. So see here. Webb says we should get Surtain from the Broncos if they want to move up in the draft for a QB. Would love a lockdown corner. Yeah, it'd be great. I feel like there's something up Howie's sleeve. We'll see what happens. You know what? It's like, look, if the Broncos need a quarterback that badly, okay, they're gonna have to work with us. They're gonna have to work with a team to move up. It's like, hey, like, you're gonna ask for too many picks. But the problem too, actually, does that even make sense? I don't even think that makes any sense. The Broncos want to move up, and the Eagles have a higher pick than the Eagles, so I don't think that would make sense. But what are you giving up for Pat Surtain though? For them, maybe it will make sense, because the Broncos have to move up a lot more. They'll need probably another 1st round pick. I don't even know if I would give that up, to be honest. I don't know. So Eagles fan, we're probably going to know Kelsey decision at or by the combine. I hope so. Humphrey is 27. That's not too bad. That's you have him in his prime right now. You have him for a couple years to 3 years. That's what you want to do. Webb says, if you haven't, please I appreciate it so much, Webb. Phil says, I don't know why Bradbury's still on this team. Well, they have to extend him and then cut him, and then it's a single digit number for dead cap. So it's not even, his contract is nothing special at all. The Eagles can eat that up easily. I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, he's got to get cut. I mean, I'd be shocked if he's still here. I'd probably be ranting for 30 minutes if he was still here, to be honest with you. Joe says Rodgers is outside cornerback, not nickel. He taking Bradbury's spot. I don't think so. I don't think so. He's played at both spots in his career with the Colts as well. He's played both spots, and he plays kick return. He plays special teams. I feel like they will cross-train him back and forth. I don't think he's going to play on one spot on the outside. I feel like he is a little quicker, and you need a twitchy guy on the inside, and I think he'll fit in really nicely there, because nickel's going to be a huge hole on top of it. I don't think it's not going to be Ringo. It's not going to be Eli Ricks. Those guys can't play on the outside at all. The inside at all. I think it's going to be Isaiah Rodgers. That's going to cross train back and forth. So Selena says, are we closer to a rebuild, especially if Kelsey doesn't come back? What do you think we see in store for next season? No, it's a retool. It's not really a rebuild. I mean, offensively, you need a wide receiver 3, which isn't hard to get, really. You need a running back. You need a running back in the building for a few years. You can't just keep going and getting a new running back every single year. The philosophy needs to change at running back. I don't know what they're going to do, but at least 2 years, something. I mean, they need somebody in the building for a couple of years to see what happens. And if Kelsey doesn't come back, then yeah, you have a glaring hole at right guard. I don't know if Tyler Steen's going to be the guy, that's going to really fix everything. He's too raw right now. Unfortunately, he needs another off season, needs to stay healthy, obviously. So we'll see what happens with that. And defensively, yeah, I mean, you have a new defensive coordinator now that's taking over a defense with a roster that probably a lot of players he doesn't want. So it's not a rebuild to where like the Eagles are not going to make the playoffs next year, but I think Fangio is going to Fangio players listen to Fangio under his defense. Accountability, he runs his defenses really well, and for some reason with his scheme, he can still get pressure with his defensive line. I mean, it's crazy. I know it's a 3-4 scheme, and we'll see what happens. But, really most of the money we're spending, I mean, is going towards the defensive side of the ball. That's where we're at. James M says, we need a uniform change, something new and modern. Yeah, I would love a modern type. I feel like I would love to change. I would love to change our uniforms, no doubt. I'm not even gonna lie, the Kelly Greens look so good. Like, I didn't realize like how good like they look when you don't see them for a long time. But man, dude, like seeing those Kelly Greens as like a possibility to like not make them a main uniform, but at least a uniform they will wear every single year. Maybe expand it to 3-4 times a year, 4 times, something like that would be great. But we'll see what happens. Skelet says, who are you going to get rid of, Trashberry or Trash Sirianni? Both. Dodge says, bro, will people stop already? They're not trading Surtain. Oh, dude, you can't be surprised. You can't be surprised at things that happen. You know what I mean? It's no one thought we would have traded for AJ Brown. Nobody. I got so much shit for that video. I got so many bad comments on that video that we weren't trading for. I didn't even say we were going to trade for AJ Brown. I said, hey, it would be great. They're working out together in the offseason. Then it happened. It's don't be surprised over things like that. It could happen. Fitness says, maybe Howie thinks Isaiah Rodgers is our Packers 13. Nah, I don't think so. Unfortunately not. Dolphins cutting all these players is a dream situation since we got Fangio. Yeah, so I think one of their best pass rushers is gone, I think, right? I forgot who got released. I know a pass rusher got released today, which is another interesting one. Like anybody from Miami gets released, it would be really interesting. So of course you're looking at Xavier Howard, you're looking at who's the edge rusher that got I'm trying to Sorry, I'm trying to look here. I don't know if you guys have his name or not. I totally forgot. Xavier Howard cut. Oh, Emmanuel Ogbah. Yeah, it's another guy. I thought I wanted him a few years ago. Yeah, Emmanuel Ogbah. He's another interesting one too. Let's see here. Mandalorian Dome said, what about trading Reddick for picks while developing Nolan Smith and starting a pass rusher? I think Howie drafted him for a reason. We already knew how the situation is going to look like with Reddick. I don't know what's going to happen. Reddick's going to get his number that he wants. He's going to bring it back to the Eagles. But the problem I'm having right now is that Nolan Smith hasn't done anything yet, and that's not good. If Nolan Smith had 6 to 10 sacks this year, I probably wouldn't care to deal Reddick that much. But because Josh Sweat's on the last year of his deal, Brandon Graham is a free agent at this point, and you need younger guys. So you're really thin at that position. You got nobody. Reddick either plays out his contract for this year and leaves, But I don't think the Eagles are going to let that happen because they're going to get some type of value out of him if there is a way to trade him. I think it's going to be a mistake. As the days go on and me thinking about it, I think it will be a mistake because if there's no point, okay, in paying somebody else big money. You're going to downgrade from HaasonReddick. So if you're going to downgrade a guy that got double-digit sacks 2 years in a row with the money that he obviously deserves it, okay? I'm not saying he shouldn't have his money. He should. $25 million, $30 million, 25 was his apparent number. It's not going to happen. Not over here, it's not. He's going to be turning 30 years old in September. You know what I mean? I don't know how that whole thing is going to go. The Eagles will get a lot of cap space back, but we'll see. Tommy says extend, then cut Bradbury, trade Slay, cut Maddox, sign Snead, draft cornerback first round, start Rodgers, Ringo, Ricks, McPherson, depth. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, look, if they went after Snead in free agency and draft a corner in the first round, damn. If you see Slay and Bradbury gone, that'd be amazing. So we'll see. Eagles fan, the Eagles need a new stadium. The link's starting to look rough. Yeah, that'll never happen. Jones, I doubt Rodgers gets any burn here and an outside corner. We haven't went with a smaller outside cornerback since we moved Maddox inside. We'll see. Sponsors, not players like him don't come out every year. Jason, they really need to get rid of the limit for helmets you can have. You got college teams using a different helmet every game for 12 games. The NFL can only use 2 for 17. Yeah. Emmanuel Ogbah is the player you're thinking of. Goes that every time the Eagles win or lose the game, media always hates on them no matter what good things they do. Oh yeah, it doesn't matter. Even if they won a championship, it'd be like, oh, can they repeat again? There'll be some type of drama after even winning a championship. Who knows? You know what I mean? But it's really bad, dude. This is what the world is. I mean, I don't know if every media outlet is like this for all these other NFL teams, but this shit is crazy. It's crazy. Fisher said if Reddick wants north or around 30 million, you could tie that much to a 30-year-old. I think they deal him on draft day. Don't like it, but it is what it is. Yeah, if that's what he wants, if there's a team that's going to give him 30 million, peace out, because no. There's too many holes on defense to give one player all of that. There's way too much. The GOAT says, y'all need to forget about Nolan Smith becoming Reddick's replacement. He's on a... No, I really hope they use him as an outside linebacker. I really do, man. I feel like he's got so much athleticism. I think he has more to bring to the table. I think he needs to definitely bulk up a little bit. But what didn't help him last year, he got injured twice last year. But Sean Desai barely played him. Derek Barnett took his snaps out of rotation. And then by the end of the year, he got more snaps, obviously. But it just didn't do well. You know, but I can't even blame Nolan Smith, really. Until Ogbah had 5 sacks in 4 years, he's 30. Yeah, dude, like I said, I wanted him a few years ago. Like a few years ago, I wanted him. I think he was a free agent. I think it probably was like 3-4 years ago when he was a free agent, obviously. So I definitely wanted him, but you know, that's another player they can look at as like a rental for a year just to help the defensive line, because they're not going to sign multiple guys to big extensions at edge rusher. I think they need one edge rusher. Other than Reddick, I think they need another edge rusher. You know, so Nolan Smith can play more outside linebacker if that's what they want to do, and use him more, you know, at that skill set where he's probably going to be better at. You know, Jordan Davis will be going back to, we'll be going back to the nose position, which is great, his original position, which is awesome. Eagles for us, I wouldn't say Danielle Hunter or Brian Burns a downgrade. Honestly, I'd rather have Burns than Reddick. Yeah, but Burns isn't putting up those numbers. You get rid of HaasonReddick, you downgraded at the position. You downgraded. There might be another guy that comes in and does really well, but not going to be as well as what he does. I mean, 16.5 sacks and 22, 11.5 this past year. You can't replace that. You know, you get rid of Reddick, you know you're not going to get as much as you get at. I mean, Reddick can still play for a few more years. I mean, Reddick, I don't see a decline in Reddick whatsoever, you know. We'll see, though. We got Philly by Day. Welcome to the Shake Squad. What's going on, man? Appreciate it. Welcome to the Camper Tier, dude. Appreciate it so much, dude. Very, very, very much. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you for supporting. Tommy says Nolan Smith as outside linebacker. I like. Yeah, I do too. In this scheme, that's where he's gonna do well. I hope they do. He's a first round pick. They can't. They gotta give him They have to give him an opportunity. I mean, they have to. You know. Third by Day said, will Reddick be able to play in coverage? I feel like I would trust Reddick a lot more in coverage, you know, but I still wouldn't do it. I'd say he's going to be an outside linebacker that's going to be on the line. I feel like that's how they have to use him. I feel like they're going to waste him. They're going to totally. You're going to pay him all this money. They re-sign him. They pay him all this money, and he's barely going to get. He's barely going to be hitting the quarterback all year. You know. You got 4 guys in coverage, obviously, in this scheme, so I'd keep him on the fucking line. I'd keep him on the line. Have him offline, get him on the line, you know, confuse the offenses a little bit. I don't know. But they, you know, you're not going to get your money's worth. That's the hard part about with this scheme. House catches Reddick shouldn't play coverage. He needs to rush the passer. I totally agree, dude. I totally agree. Hold on a second. Christian Vince, what's going on, man? It says, you think we go for Henry? I would love it. I would honestly like it, but it's going to be a rental. It's going to be a 1-year type deal. I don't know what he thinks he's going to get at his age, and he's got a lot of wear and tear. I don't know what direction he'll go in. I really don't. So I would like it. I feel like you can't just have him in Gainwell. You got to have somebody else. I think so. This offseason is going to be very interesting. It is. It is. Mailer Dome says, do you think Jordan Davis will have a breakout year? I think going back to his original position at nose, he will. And we saw a lot of great things from Jordan Davis early in the season. I mean, not only did I didn't expect him to be a pass rusher this past year. You know, I know he kind of fell off. The whole defensive line hit a wall. It wasn't just him. Everybody did. I don't care what the numbers say. I thought Josh Sweat hit a wall. Jordan Davis hit a wall. Even Reddick just stopped. You know, it's how these players are used every game. It's not right. I hate it. We blame the players more than what situations they're put in. You know, we'll see. D-Space says Kellen Moore might be used Albert O in wide receiver 3 packages. Yeah, I'm actually really happy they brought him back. This is really showing me now that Kellen Moore has more control in saying, man, and Kellen Moore loves tight ends. So now, I mean, when you played in some games this year, even when Dallas Goedert is a liability at this point because he's always missing 4 to 5 games every single year, even though the injury wasn't his fault this past year, Albert O, you need a number 2. Calcaterra's hurt way too much. Jack Stahl's a free agent. They're probably not bringing him back. I would say that your 3 tight ends are going to be Goddard, Albert O, Calcaterra, but giving Albert O, you traded for him last year and barely used him. And every time somebody gets hurt under Nick Sirianni's game plan, when somebody gets hurt, you know, especially Dallas Goedert got hurt, it's not even like they gave the next tight end a chance or a shot. It's like they totally ignore the position for weeks ahead because, oh, I don't know how to scheme without having Goddard in the system. It's just, it sucks. You know, Kellen Moore, you got to think about it like this. Dallas Goedert's 28 years old right now. He's got 2 more years left on his deal, and there's going to be a lot to think about going forward. Albert O is an acrobatic catcher, is very athletic, probably the fastest guy. He's a great linebacker. He plays real tough, pinpoints the ball really well. I think Albert O could really be something, but when you trade for a guy and then Nick doesn't even gives him more opportunity, it's a joke, man. It's just a waste, It's a total waste. Philly by Days, you love to see Fangio move Reddick around. Dallas does with Parsons. That's what I would love them to do. But unfortunately, Dan Quinn doesn't run a system like Fangio does. That's the problem. Philly 4-1 says the pass catching ability of Swift, I take over. Oh, 100. Well, yeah, but dude, if you bring in Derrick Henry, you have to bring in somebody else. That's more of a dual threat. You got to bring your dual threat and then bring in your north and south runner. And I feel like Kellen Moore wants to go back to his Ezekiel Elliott days when they drafted him. Attack with your offensive line, run your running back north and south, and just punish defenses. Tire them out with a power back like that. I think that's what he wants to go back to. And DeAndre Swift, besides his pass protection being pretty damn bad, picking up blitzes, I mean, you know, for him in the passing game was always a dream that I've always wanted this past year. We just never got it. You know, they slowly took him out of they tried getting him into the passing game for weeks, beginning of the season, and as the weeks go on, they tried getting more passes towards him. But, you know, the underutilization of DeAndre Swift this year, hitting 1,000 yards his first time of his career, being a Pro Bowler, you know, it sucks. You know, DeAndre Swift was probably my favorite player. My favorite player I want to see on this team this past year, and unfortunately just didn't do enough. You know, Reggie says 6'5", Brian Burns measurement allow him the opportunity to bat down passes. With Reddick 6'1" height, there is a lesser of a chance. Yeah, most likely. Nice. The Fangio scheme doesn't favor Reddick, and I wish we can run aggressive philosophy because Reddick would thrive as well as other pass rushers. Yeah, and that's the problem. So what do you do? If they get rid of Reddick, and look, I understand it's really hard to let go of a guy that has double-digit sacks with the Eagles for 2 seasons. It's really tough because he is probably the best player on our defense. But you're going to get a big chunk of money back, and you're going to have the money to... The cap's at $32 million right now. If they get rid of Byard post-June, and if they get, you know, they extend Reddick or get, you know, $11 to $16 million they'll get back. I'm telling you right now, like, Fangio will go out and get his guys with that. You know, you might have to make a sacrifice and get rid of HaasonReddick and say, you know what, we have to make a sacrifice that we're not going to have that double-digit sack guy. But we're going to bring in another guy that knows Fangio's scheme, that's going to play at a high level in Fangio's scheme. You know, I don't think there was a guy on Fangio's defensive line that had a double-digit sacks last year. I'm not really sure. But, you know, I don't know how Fangio's the best guy that runs this scheme because he's the man. He's the one that he runs it. This isn't a Fangio follower, an apprentice that runs his defense. This is the main guy that's going to run this defense. And what do you need? You need your right players. And, you know, he was able to run his bend, don't break defense, plus he was third in pressures because he does play his linebackers downhill. I mean, Andrew Van Ginkel, man, not a lot of sacks for the year, 6 sacks, but, I mean, he had 53 quarterback pressures. So he knows how to use linebackers. He doesn't set up his players to fail. That's why I have to... I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of the scheme. I can't stand it. You know what I mean? But if you want the best guy for the job, it's going to be Fangio at the end of the day. So that's where I'm kind of at with it. Like, I hate the scheme, but if we have the best guy that knows how to run it, the main man that knows how to run it, there you go. You know what I mean? Well, Swift's a free agent now. I don't know if they'll re-sign him. I want them to badly, so we'll see. The tail force is hell. Even Carter kind of hit a wall, but I expect this defense to bounce back. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Everybody did. Everyone's talking about how bad Jordan Davis is and Nolan Smith. Like, look at like every player, every position was flawed. Every player was put in a failed fucking position. Yo, if I go to a job and they don't give me the tools, if they give me if I'm a landscaper or a contractor or something, and I can't build this house, and they don't give me no tools to build the house, like it's gonna take a lot longer, or it's gonna be a failed project because my boss doesn't give me the tools that I need for my job. Like, These guys weren't coached well. These guys didn't know how to tackle. These guys, they lost they gave up on the coaches, man. That's how no adjustments, no sense of urgency. I mean, that's just how bad it was, dude. That's how bad it is. Lemon Petaloo says, with 2 second-round picks, you think we go safety with one of them? It depends what they do. And like I said, it's tough to just fast forward to the draft right now because we got to see what they do in free agency. If they go after an Eddie Jackson or they, there's a bunch of moves they can make. A lot of safeties are out there. Xavier McKinney, if that's Antoine Winfield, if they want to make a trade, I don't know. Whatever they want to do, it really depends on what. Free agency is going to tell the story a little bit. You're going to see what positions are pretty much filled at that point. Joseph F. said the D-line hit a wall because they played double the amount of snaps in the offense the second part. Yeah, well, that's true too. That's 100%. I never even think of it like that, but that's definitely an eye-opener too. It is. Kyle says, Joey, hey, bud, it was good to see you. Was wondering your thoughts on the interview with AJ today? I mean, he fought back, man. He fought back and just gave his 2 cents on the media and, pretty much laid it all on the table that, he wants to be here and that they turn everything into, TMZ, and if he opens his mouth on the sideline, everyone thinks it's about him getting the ball, and it's not. It's things need to be changed during these games every week. Adjustments have to be made, and if there's a player, I mean, where is there a game in the NFL where players are not aggravated, or if there's a player out there that is venting to somebody on the sideline, and every time the cameras are turned to that direction, it's always painted in a bad way. And what do you expect? All these players to stay quiet when things aren't going their way, just staying quiet? I mean, I don't know what you expect these guys to do. Not have fucking emotion? I don't get it. What's going on, Iron Mike? Mail Dome said, do you think Hurts needs to prove himself once again? Yeah, I mean, I think he always has to prove himself. I mean, he had a regressing year, no doubt, but I don't think he had the right coach behind him. And if the leaks were true, which I totally believe that he had a disconnect with Brian Johnson, and Jalen Hurts is trying to change the offense every week to Nick Sirianni in these meetings, and Nick is just throwing his ideas in the trash and not, expanding upon how to help your quarterback out, then I don't blame Jalen Hurts for not giving a fuck, to be honest. I mean, if this is going on for weeks with no adjustments and everybody we had a great practice this week. It's like, who fucking cares, dude? Practice is practice. Get into a game. I mean, you saw it in the body language. You saw it every time. If the defense, if the offense scored on us, the body language, and there was no resilient team anymore. The players just gave up. I mean, they gave up way too easily. So I wish they would sign Albert O to a 2-year deal. Well, they got him for another year. They got him for 1 year. So, I mean, I think that's enough. You know what I mean? Austin Watkins is interesting, too, because he was a preseason standout last year. Never really has had an opportunity in season. And they extended him 2 years, which is interesting. So they extended him 2 years, $150,000 guaranteed or something like that. So he's not making a lot of money, but that's a low risk, high reward move that I'm willing to see. See if he could. They must see something in him. So it should be interesting. Would you take Henry and Swift for $14 million for both? $14 million for 2 players together? Yeah, I would do it in a heartbeat. Or just thoughts if Kellen Moore wants to bring in Zeke to help teach the system? No. Rudy says Colin Cowherd's for early prediction has the Eagles missing the playoffs. If that happens, Howie is finally gone and Julian Lurie takes over as CEO. Yeah, right. I don't think I don't think they'll ever move on right now. Has Howie on the hot seat this year? Maybe. I don't know. I think Nick is 100%. Because within the division, guys, like, I don't see a threat right now. The Dallas Cowboys are still doing Dallas Cowboy things. Dak Prescott needs an extension. Micah Parsons needs an extension. They got a lot of stuff to worry about. And the Giants are just like, they're going to have a quarterback competition this year. I mean, it's just, there's a lot of bad things going on with Brian DeBull and how he's treating his coaches and all these different rumors coming out. And Washington is losing out on coaches, and I don't know. They look like they're trying to change and try to get things back to normal, and they just look even worse by every year. They just look worse when it comes to front office hirings, to coaches, and weird stuff going on. Chris Alex, I think the first thing that the Birds should do is extend Devontae and Dickerson. Seeing how much the cap went up, the price is going to keep going up. Get them done now. Yeah, those two have to get done, no doubt. Devontae Smith will definitely get done. Dickerson has to get done. Got to get done. You have to hit on these draft picks. The more you hit on the draft, the less you have to spend in free agency. The more money you're going to have to pay other players. It all connects round circle, Therefore, says the thing is that drives me crazy about the entire fan base. We plead and cry for guys like Reddick and Brown, but as soon as we get them, it seems like we try to drive them out the door. Yeah, I don't like that shit. For me, well, yeah, because we're fucking spoiled. Like, do you know how lucky we are to have Howie Roseman? And it may sound stupid, but there are barely any GMs out there that make moves. Like, there are a lot of GMs out there that don't make the sacrificing moves that Howie Roseman makes. Okay, there's not a lot of GMs that even I know guys that just regular fans that are fans of other teams that I know personally that sit there and say, oh my God, dude, like, our GM does nothing. Like, they don't do anything. Seriously. It's like, if you get a fucking dominant receiver like AJ Brown, he talks his shit. Who gives a crap? Like, that's what I expect him to do. He has every right to talk shit. He has every right. He's broken records the past 2 years since he's been here. He's broken Calvin Johnson's 6-game, 125-plus yard receiving record. He broke Mike Quick's receiving record. I mean, seriously, like, if anyone's deserving to talk all this shit, it's him. Shows Tommy. Let's see. James said, "Did you see Cilio sounding stupid?" I don't follow Dan Cilio and what he does. I don't. The only time I see Dan Cilio is when his clips pop up on Twitter. That's like the only way. I don't sit on YouTube and watch his whole live stream. I don't. I have more important shit to do than listen to that shit every single day. Because I feel like I feel like it's fucking depressing. And yeah, the truth is depressing. It's not the truth. It's just, I feel like there's a lot of bullshit that's said every single day just because, like, there's nothing else to fucking talk about. So, 3416 says, with all the brutal coaching staff, you could honestly evaluate anyone on defense. With that brutal coaching staff, you could not honestly evaluate anyone on defense. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you're supposed to evaluate your roster playing the way you played on both sides of the ball. Like, that's what I don't get. Like, how do you evaluate your whole entire roster going through that all year? Because, honestly, I have no idea. I have no clue how you evaluate your roster. Chris says, all speaking about practice, Lurie needs to force the mandatory mini camps. No free time anymore. They don't deserve it. No. Yeah, we're like one of 3 teams that doesn't have mini camp. They have to bring mini camp back. This off-season program needs to change dramatically. No fucking, sitting on lawn chairs and having some margaritas or whatever the hell they do during practice, because those words by Javon Hargrave really pissed me off, that the practices were less demanding. and like everybody was just having a good time. Like, why is practice like that? These guys get paid millions of dollars. Are you afraid to put them through a 2-hour hard-nosed crazy fucking practice? I mean, seriously. These spaces feel like I feel like we're getting McConkey. Watch Lad McConkey from Georgia. Let me tell you something. If they draft Lad McConkey from Georgia, I'm gonna get his jersey. I'm not kidding. I will have his jersey. I will have his Georgia Bulldog jersey, and I will have his Eagle jersey. Because that man could break ankles. I'm telling you, like, man, watching that kid just run routes is just, wow. It's amazing, dude. Sean says, Tommy, how does that make sense? Oh, people are fighting. People are fighting. Philly 416 is Joey. You've been hearing me say for weeks since the Buffalo game of how time possession would eventually destroy our D. We all know what happened. Couldn't reach 36 minutes in the last 12 games. You know, it wasn't going to last winning in the second half of these games and during the gauntlet, which, you know, as soon as we got to that Miami game, I was like, oh, here's the start of a really hard schedule. And we played really well, but theoretically we won games and teams made a lot of mistakes on us every week. And you know, it's the play of the game. Like, teams are going to make mistakes, and we just capitalize on teams' mistakes where we probably should have lost some games, but capitalized on what other teams did or didn't do. So yeah, Chris, I agree, dude. Please play in preseason, bro. Don't put these fucking guys in one series, and it's like, okay, they have like 4 or 5 fucking weeks off, and then you get to a game and they look so sluggish, slow, unprepared. They haven't gelled enough together yet. They got to play, guy. You know, guys like Kelsey or Lane Johnson or older guys like that, they're off for a couple weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. I get that 100%. But these younger guys, and like, you're getting ready for a season. All right, Mike 462 says, my big question of all is the coaching moves is, why do we keep the wide receiver coach? He has shown since he was here, he does not know how to develop young talent. I mean, he's, at the end of the day, I don't know, like, he was here during our Super Bowl year too, so I mean, I can't put so much on a positional guy. We don't have issues with wide receiver. We really don't. We have issues with the play calling. We have issues with Nick Sirianni's game plan. It's more than just Aaron Moorhead. It's way deeper than that. You know, I'm not putting too much into, they didn't get rid of Aaron Moorhead. You know, Kellen Moore is the one that kept Aaron Moorhead. Kellen Moore keeps Aaron Moorhead. They were going to get rid of Moorhead. The Eagles said we can get rid of him. And Kellen Moore said, no, I want him to be here. So I guess there was really Kellen Moore had no issue with him being here. Eagles 4L says malpractice. How do we not let Jalen throw into his best area, middle of the field? Yeah, I mean, just totally you want to run 2 receivers a foot away from each other doing the same route. You know, routes taking 8-9 seconds to develop, and Jalen Hurts. Look how many times Jalen Hurts rolled out of the pocket in 22 under Shane Steichen. How many times he threw middle of the field wide open? And how many times did he go to the right side? How many times did Jalen Hurts roll to his right this year? And like, no one's there. There's no, he wasn't even coached to even check the ball down. You had check downs that were wide open for big chunk yards. Like, I mean, seriously, like I don't know what they were pulling Jalen Hurts left and right. Like, that's why, dude, like, this shit's got to get fixed, because this is just going to be a total disaster at the end of the day. Total disaster. Dwan just is more hitting in practice, more pads on in practice. I agree. Joseph said, I mean, in all honesty, if Reddick got to go, if he asks for a lot, I think Howie's going to grab a free agent linebacker and draft one, and also draft or in the first. All honesty, I mean, I don't know what they're willing to pay. I mean, if they meet in the middle on a number, that's fine. But if Reddick's gone, then I don't know what they're going to do, because the draft, I feel like, changes at that point if they lose Reddick. I feel like it changes dramatically. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, we'll stay for another couple minutes, guys. We have 133 in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the stream. Appreciate all the support from everybody. Check out the pinned comments for memberships and all that great stuff. The schedule so we're gonna have the shakedown tomorrow night. We'll have videos every day as usual, but the shakedown will be tomorrow night. We'll have so starting March, right? We're gonna be streaming every day starting in March, every single day. Late morning streams and videos. So every day in March we'll we'll do pretty much I do a thing called Road to Free Agency, where we stream every day and talk about rumors and stuff like that. Every single day, late mornings, we'll stream for a couple hours. And obviously if something breaks, I do a video about it. We'll do another stream at night to talk about it. So there'll be a lot to it'll be a lot of content in March. March will be crazy. So we'll hit free agency. We'll stream for probably a couple weeks after that till it starts to die down after a week and a half. And then we'll start focusing more on the draft. Obviously, by beginning of next month. I've already been working on a lot of draft stuff right now. I'm not putting out yet until like a little bit later, because it's still like a dead month right now. The rest of February at least is still a dead month, so we'll go over more stuff later on. So, Fortified says, which Jason movie is your favorite? For me, I like the 09 movie a lot. The 09 movie, the last one that came out, the 09 movie, I really did like a lot. But my favorite, like, old school movie, like back in the day, I really like Part 7. Part 7 is probably one of my favorite ones. Part 6 and 7. And 2. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, that was a short one today. I just want to stream for an hour today. Yeah. Shakedown tomorrow night. Make sure you hit the like button before you leave. Subscribe if you're new. And we'll have another video out probably tomorrow, late morning, something like that. I put out 2 videos today. Make sure to check out the last video that I did put up on the Austin Watkins stuff and some of the other stuff that went on the Albert O signing and stuff like that. And yeah, we'll be ready to go, so more content on the way. Appreciate you guys coming in, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes go up, follow side. Peace out, guys. Enjoy your night, enjoy your weekend. Come to the shakedown tomorrow. We'll have a lot to talk about and discuss. And yeah, peace out. Peace. Oof.